and unfortunately mine attacked me in my eyes. So I am partial blind in my left eye.
So when you say MS, multiple sclerosis, this is a disease that causes an attack on the nervous system.
Correct.
And in your case, in your eyes, which is why you are declared partially blind.
Correct.
Due to the attack on the eye. Hi, I'm Sandy Powell, and welcome to the Round Table again. Great show, a great guest, one of my favorite people in the world, my very own baby sister, Ronnie Mayers. Welcome to the show, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for having me.
Oh, well, you know what? We do a lot of talking at home anyway as a family,
Right.
And so I thought that this would be a great opportunity for you to share part of your story. Part of your life with the world that would be beneficial to other people as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So I know some people don't like to come out and be public about health issues and things like that.
Yes.
And then as believers, sometimes it's hard for believers to take that step of revealing health issues. But can you tell us what you are facing?
I am facing MS, which is multiple sclerosis, that attacks the nerves, and unfortunately mine attacked me in my eyes. So I am partial blind in my left eye.
So when you say MS, multiple sclerosis, this is a disease that causes an attack on the nervous system.
Correct.
And in your case, in your eyes, which is why you are declared partially blind.
Correct.
Due to the attack on the eyes. Tell me a little bit, like, what brought you to the place of even knowing that you had MS?
Well, I had to go get me some new glasses and found out that my nerves in my eyes was not moving. And they sent me to all kind of specialists in Colombia. And when I got to this other specialist, she told me that it was called I have MS of the optic nerve.
Oh, okay.
And when they came up to notice that I didn't have any movements in my left eye, what they did all kind of spinal
exams.
Yes. So after I had the spinal exams, it was diagnosed with the MS of the optic nerve.
So did they have? Did you do one of the tests, like an MRI?
I did.
CAT scan.
I did. That was kind of nerve wracking. But I did the MRI, staying there 45 minutes to an hour, to get all kinds of pictures of my heads and my spine and another.
Like of your brain and stuff like
right.
that? Right.
And the other test they did, they had to end up sticking a needle in the spine of my back.
Yeah.
Can't recall what they call it, but the fluid was not good. So they test a lot of stuff by sticking you in your nerves, in your back.
Wow.
And when they did that, that's when they diagnosed me with the MS of the optic nerve.
And so was that a painful exam, the one where they tapped into your spine?
No, what they did, they had somebody in front of me, and he was talking to me, and he said, "You keep talking to me, you wouldn't even know they stuck you." And when he did that, they already had stuck me.
Oh, okay.
They had numbed the skin.
So you couldn't feel the pinch?
I couldn't feel the pinch.
Okay.
But I would do that as fast as I do the MRI.
Okay.
Yes.
But you don't like closed-in spaces.
No.
That's what you're...
Very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that this diagnosis changed your life.
It has.
What are some of the ways that your life has changed before you were diagnosed to after?
I had to stop driving.
You was a
I did.
speeder.
I did. When I first noticed it, I worked at the school and I was walking over with the children, didn't see them. And when I had to retire at an early age, and now I have to wait on people to take me this place and that place, that is very aggravating. So,
because you were very independent,
right,
a single woman, and you was just on the go. You just did everything on your own.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. So now that I have to wait on people, wait on the Medicaid van and stuff like that, it's like very depressing. And I do go in my depressing stage because I don't like waiting on people. I don't like to bother people. So I just stay in my home.
Right.
So by me staying in my home, I'm good until the point where I get very lonely. Then my daughter come get me. But
sometimes the depressing state, I'm talking about that a little bit, because you're having to deal with life changes, right, and then dealing with the disease itself and the diagnosis and what comes along with it, because they have flare-ups that you have.
Right.
Tell us about the flare-ups.
With my flare-ups with mine, I might lose my vision in the other eye. The tingling in my legs, I have that now. My leg might get heavy where I can't lift it. My arms might get heavy. So when he tells me when that happens, they rush to the hospital because I could be having a stroke. So if it's not a stroke, that's a flare-up from the MS.
Right.
So after that, I just pray to God that, okay, get me through this, and I'm coming on out of it.
Right. I know with you, you're a woman of faith. You're a Christian. You're a believer.
Yes.
You and God got a great relationship.
Yes.
And I know. Talk about how this has strengthened your relationship with God.
The way it strengthens me is, I feel I'm going through this to be a testimony for somebody else. I feel that God put this toward me so I can let other people know, if God can bring me out of this, he can bring you out of this too.
Right, right.
Just to be there for them when they need me. I do not take my sight for granted. I do not take my walk for granted when I have to hold on to people.
Okay.
I don't take nothing for granted because life is too short. And to walk around here and wonder how I got a bruise on me because I hit my arm. This is the part I can't see yet.
Right. So I know that you said, well, let God. I know what you were saying, but just for the audience, no, she's not saying that God gave her this. She's just saying that this has been allowed to come her way. She says she feels as though this is a way of God's light shining through her life, and just not taking down to the disease, but still living life to the fullest that you can. But there are those days that you just are sad.
Correct. And when I get to that point, it seemed like everybody noticed it because they start calling me. And my daughter was like, okay, Ma, I'm on my way to come get you. We're going to go riding this way. We're going to go riding that way. So I was like, okay. And sometimes I'll just shut down and don't want to talk to no one. And then my daughter will come, Ma, I'm on my way. And then when she comes, it looks like I perk up because she bring the grandkids.
Grandbabies will bring it. Don't they bring that joy?
Yes. And my little boy, come on, Grandma, you going with us?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you have your family, your siblings.
Yes, I have my sisters.
Your mom.
Yes, and all of them I talk to my mom all day, every day.
Yeah, I do.
And
what y'all talk about? Never mind. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. It just, she always tell me I need a dose of my runner, so I give her a dose. But this is where I can come and get a Medicaid when I come to see my sister.
Yeah.
So I come to Columbus
from Colombia
and see my sister and say, okay. And I don't stay a week.
No.
I stay a month, and then I go home.
And this is kind of like the encouragement, because I know we have a family Zoom that we do on a weekly basis. Is that helpful to you as well?
It is, but it is because I get to see everybody, and then I don't want nobody to be like, oh, why she didn't get on Zoom or that. But sometimes I was like, okay, I ain't doing my brothers and sisters today. I'm gonna relax. But yeah,
y'all heard of that.
But I love them all.
Yeah,
I really do.
Right.
I wouldn't trade them for nothing.
Right. I know that you coming here to visit is a break.
Yes.
I think you're more active, and is that helpful in your with the diagnosis that you're?
It is. Two sides. My sister has this massage chair in her house, and she won't give it to me. But the only way, that's how she gets me here. But I love that chair because it helps my back. It helps my legs. And I don't have problems with my legs when I'm here. But when I go back, I've noticed I have more tingling in my legs, and my legs feel kind of tight. I get tired in my legs. Mm-hmm. But when I'm here, I get in it twice a day. And I just lay there, and it feels so good.
Yeah. I think it's the Georgia water. I think you need to move here. And then you won't have to worry. Plus the chair will be here. Yeah. And then you can have the chair and the water. And then, that'll...
Then she want me to leave my grandkids.
Well, no, bring them all. Bring the grands, bring all of them. But I'm just saying, that's my thing. But I think that the more active you are, yeah, it's helpful to you as well in the.
It is, because when I come here, I'm on the food truck that they own, and I have the best time. I interact with the customers, and I talk to, laugh and talk. I have the best time.
Yeah.
I don't even think about nobody, no one. It's just like I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm just home.
I love it. I think that, sometimes when you're in your low places, because I know you're my sister, my baby sister, and I know when you're in your low spot. Mm-hmm. And, I'll call there at the house, and when you pick up, it was FaceTime. Yeah. When you pick up, the room is dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about those days when you are there, and what do you need from your family and friends when you're there?
When I'm there, I just need to get out. I have bought myself some blackout curtains. Oh my God, it's the best if you don't want to see no daylight. But when I'm in that point, I'm like I'm melting in the middle of my bed, and I have suicidal thoughts. But in that point in time, that's when, like I said, my daughter, I'm knocking on the door like she the po-po. But when I get to that point, she's like, why are you just laying in that door? Come on, let's go. Because I can feel myself, fading. Like, okay, what can I do? What can I take? I have this got to the point where she's driving, and I'm thinking, how can I open this door and jump, fall out without hurting my children and grandchildren,
Because you think about them and how they would be in that fact that you were not here with them anymore.
Right. So when I look back and they in my eyesight, I'm like, oh God, I can't do that. That's my babies. I think about them. And I think that's the only way I get through it. Is thinking about them, and well, I won't be able to see them no more. So yeah,
and then the hurt that they would have,
yes,
if they, their grandmother. I know that this is real, because I think that many people in depressed moments have had some suicidal thoughts, and things like that. So I don't want you to feel like that's not normal,
right?
Because it does happen to people that are not even sickly. Maybe other things that's going on in life that may bring them to a low place. But I'm glad you're able to recognize when you're there Do you know, like, what are some of your triggers that get you to feeling in that low place?
Yeah, the devil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's
He
the
just
devil.
tried to show you all the bad stuff.
Yeah, you know, why are you here? Ain't nobody want you anyway. You're a burden. Why are you sitting there? Go ahead, the knife. They won't know. They'll cry for a minute, but they'll stop.
That's real right now.
Yeah. And at one time, I wouldn't be able to talk about this. But
it's a real thing. And the fact that the enemy tries to make you think that you're not worth the living because of a disease, that part right there, it just makes me hot mad.
yeah,
But I'm glad that you know the Lord.
Yeah.
I'm glad that your life in Christ shows you in the Word and in your relationship with God that
right,
that's a lie.
yeah,
And so that's the part that we have to cast down the imagination,
right,
because the enemy speaks to us on a regular basis to try to get us to be in a place that we're not supposed to be in our mind and in our thoughts.
that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And so I'm glad you fight.
Yeah,
And I'm glad that your grandchildren are there and
Yes.
and Jazz is there to help encourage you. And I think that people, if we knew maybe what you're saying, family members can be more observant
More
of their
supportive.
loved ones and more supportive. Go ahead, tell us.
I do have a support group, but I'm not too into it because when I get on it, it's always say, yes, I have gone through this, then I go to the doctor, the doctor told me I got dementia. I don't want to hear that part. I really don't want to hear
You wanted a support group that's more positive.
positive telling me, okay, you can get through this, you can do this. But I call my two best friends, which is my sisters, and we talk. We get out, I come out.
Right. And I think that sometimes people don't know, how to help, but by you telling us these things to tell us how it's best to help you
Right.
to come and rise up, you might have to find your new support group. That part. Because some people's idea of support is talking about the ailment.
Yes.
You want a support group that talks about the overcoming part,
Right.
the part that's more positive. And so I think that's going to be our assignment. When we get off these mics, we're going to go find a support group
Yes.
that is more positive and more uplifting.
Right. That's correct.
Right. So go back to your lifestyle.
What I do?
What do you do? Like, what's your day?
Well, in the mornings, I have my coffee. I have to have that.
That's a must.
If I don't have doctor's appointments, I'm sitting on the porch watching the kids go to school.
By the way, she loves children,
Yes.
and that's her first passion.
Yes.
Is children. And so I'm sure the neighborhood appreciates your neighborhood watch program.
So yeah, I watch my kids, and I used to keep a little boy, but he's now in daycare. And then I wait for my grandson to get off out of school, and they bring him to my house. And then after he leaves, it's nothing else
Right.
but to get into my Law and Order,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It's a TV time.
TV time.
I know that you're not driving and not being mobile is a big downer.
Yes.
And being that you have been independent as long as I've known you,
Right.
you've always been independent. Is that one of those saddest parts?
That is. It is one of the saddest parts because I can't do for myself. I can't say, go to your store, or it's the little things. Like if I walk from my house to the mailbox, I got to stand up there for like at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go back.
Because of your energy level?
Yes.
Okay.
So somehow I just wait for my grands, and they'll come over. Like even my son-in-law, he'll come over, and if I can't see what's on my floor, he'll get my trash, he'll take it out, he'll sweep my floor. Yeah, mother, I got this for you. Don't worry about it. I love him for that. Him and my daughter. And my daughter's my home health care, so she comes over she'll cook me dinner, or she'll
keep the house.
Keep the restroom and stuff up to par. So I don't have a problem with that. I mean, they good help to me.
Well, I know one thing. On the truck, on the Emerald's Touch food truck, you are whiz. You do very well there.
I love it,
and I know the customers love you. The crew love you, and you've seen your energy level seems
up to high,
be high when you're on the truck, and so
I think it's the energy of you all that's feeding off. So when y'all give me that energy and I'm up there, I'm laughing and y'all laughing.
How many times do I fire you?
About 3 times a day. 3 times a day, and then she hires me back
immediately.
Okay, but yeah.
It's the level of the energy around you.
Yes.
That can be, and like you said earlier, because that kind of alludes to that as well. You said you need a support group that is uplifting and upbeat. And so maybe the energy around you, like you said, is where you're pulling from for your strength.
Right.
And so maybe that's what we need to start looking into, maybe.
Maybe.
And maybe your surroundings as to people around you, not saying that, the family's not around you, not the energy level, but I'm just saying you might need more stimulation.
Right. That's correct.
During the day.
Because where I'm at, everybody minds their business. I mean, I have a couple of people come by and just checking on me and stuff like that in the neighborhood. But just nobody don't ring my doorbell, and I don't hear nobody. I got the doorbell ring, and I can answer you through my phone. But I don't want to be bothered, going about your business. That keep it moving.
Right.
But other than that, just to say, come on, let's go walk up the street.
Yeah. Because, Brayton put us out last, Wednesday.
Oh, that ain't the first time. Ain't the first time. I'm about to dust him off, too, so.
Said that we had started doing exercises together for a little bit, and then we fell off.
Yeah.
But that was something that we look forward to when I got on.
Yeah, because I got tired. But I was like, now that if I go back into it, it's going to, take a lot out of me to try to get back to that
momentum
that we was doing.
Right. So I think if we just, you stay here another month and stay on the food truck, I think we can get your levels.
My grandson already told you.
He already did. He said, yeah, it's time for you to come home.
Time for me to come home.
I want to say this. Tell me some things that you do to encourage yourself when you have those low places. What do you do to encourage yourself?
I play songs. Like, it's the song, I can't think who sang it. The song, Encourage Yourself. I love that song.
Yolanda Adams?
Is that her? I can't remember.
Encourage yourself.
Yeah. I love that song. And when I hear that, then I put up healing scriptures that my pastor put out when he do his sermons. He teach on healing, and I try to go to healing nights when they have healing nights at the church. Right. But I blast my music on my TV when I want to encourage myself, or I might just bounce around the house dancing and stuff like that. But that's it. Come on, y'all, let's go dance. Let's do this. Or I might have let's have a grandkids night. Okay. And we get to painting the nails, and I said, okay, girls, I got the living room, and me and Eli get the bedroom. And we'll just sit there and watch TV, even though I be tired. I be like, okay, let's do this.
That's it.
But that's how I keep myself lifted. And then my oldest girl, she'll call me and say, Grandma, you okay? Why are you so sad? I said, I'm not sad. Yes, Grandma, you sad. And she sees.
She recognizes it. Do they know about your diagnosis?
They do. And when we walk into the store, my oldest granddaughter, she'll go put her arm out like this. I know to grab it. They go in the store, they grab the cart, and they guide me with the cart.
Gotcha.
So they know all about it and what's the side effects and what's going on. If she don't hear from me, she go, Grandma, you didn't call me today.
Oh, okay.
But that's destiny. Destiny gonna.
Right.
But Derry should, what's up, where? Derry, I don't go there.
I know for me, I was ignorant. I didn't understand what MS was.
Right.
And I didn't understand because you weren't very vocal,
Right.
About it. You're a very private person. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there were some things I didn't even notice because we live in two separate cities, two separate states. I think the first time that I noticed that you actually needed physical assistance was at our mom's 80th birthday party.
Correct.
And I had no idea that your vision was that limited. And so that's the part that I think this show is important to let people know, when a person has an ailment or something like that, a sickness or disease, that educate yourself. We have to educate ourselves on what that person may be going through. Family members, educate ourselves.
I think I was in the first beginning in denial because at first I could see, but it was only a light by my nose. And the next time I went to the doctor, it was nothing. I couldn't see anything. And he said, eventually your provisional vision will go. Well, it went, and now this side is gone. So I don't have no vision on my outside. So now that I'm learning more about it, it's coming easy to talk about. Because at first I wanted to do things on my own and I didn't want nobody's help. So I didn't tell nobody.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I can do this. But when I put my phone on the table and thought I was putting it on the table and it's hitting the floor. Or when I was putting up food and I'm thinking I'm putting the stuff in the containers and it was going on the floor. I said, okay, now I need to
do something
about this.
Right. So you began to what?
That's when I began to ask for the home health care. I'm asking for things that I need that can help me stop being so. My dad used to call it the pride would kill you.
Pride to kill, yes.
Yeah. So I put my pride aside about that and start asking for help. Right. So, but I'm still don't want to be a burden to nobody.
That's not your way.
That's not me.
Right.
And I was like, when we talked about it on the phone, when we had Zoom.
The family Zoom. Yeah.
And I told them the prognosis and let the doctor know what they said. But I let them know, don't be saying for me. I'm okay. I'm going to get through this. So if you want to ask me a question about it, I'm good. I can answer your question. But if you want to know more and I can answer it, Google it.
Yeah. Or talk to a doctor.
Talk to a doctor.
Yeah, because sometimes Google will mess you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google is like your support group.
Yeah.
It'll mess you up.
That part. But I told him, I don't feel sorry. I'm here.
Right.
I'm going to get through this. God got my hands.
Amen.
He's going to have me.
And I think that that's the part that settles my mind, is that you have a relationship with the Father.
And I ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
Right. Y'all in.
We're in for keeps.
There's keeps.
That's my home.
Anyway, I'm thankful that you shared with our listening audience what we can consider and think about and know, and then we see others that may be battling this disease, MS, what to consider or think about what they may be going through, because everybody has highs and lows, and then have moments where they're strong in their faith, and then times where we said, Lord, help me in my little faith, because I'm weak at this moment.
Yeah.
And then this is where we can jump in and encourage you and hold your arms up.
Yeah.
And lift you up in spirit by just.
Let me fall.
I'm not gonna. I'll get after the picture.
Okay.
Then we'll get you.
Get me out.
But it gives me understanding, and I'm sure it's giving others understanding as well, to understand your position. And I appreciate you sharing the intimacy of where you are in this fight that we're having.
Because once I started talking about it, like I said, I'm getting better at it. Because at the beginning, I used to cry all the time, and now I'm good. I'm honestly good. I ain't shedding a tear yet.
You haven't.
And I'm
got a whole box of tissue down there.
It's up on
the side. And I think what it is that you're strengthening yourself in your own confessions.
Yeah.
And so with me and you and God on our side,
it ain't going nowhere.
It's all good, ain't it?
Yeah, it's all good. As some kids say, it's all gravy, baby. Yes.
I want you all to pray for my sister. Her name is Ronette Mayers. She is 1 year under me in age. This is my childhood twin. We were dressed alike for all of our first, 8, 9 years. And her battle with MS has broadened her in Christ. Her battle with MS has given her a new perspective on life. And so for that reason, we stand with you and we stand for you. And yes, I love you to the moon and back. And so until next time at the round table, be blessed and know that I love you.